evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Folkers, and we want to start tonight talking about the new law in Texas banning most abortions after 6 weeks. It's a decision that could have implications in dozens of other states across our country. Galen Etlin explains how Oregon is part of the fight over this controversial ban.
Across the country, people have demonstrated for and against the U.S. Supreme Court ruling not to block a new Texas abortion law.
It ensures that the life of every unborn child who has a heartbeat will be saved from the ravages of abortion.
It bans abortions in Texas after cardiac activity is detected, typically around 6 weeks before some women know they're pregnant. That includes rape victims. The law allows people to sue anyone who might have helped someone get an abortion. Providers, relatives, even an Uber driver can face damages up to $10,000.
It's almost un-American, what we're talking about.
It is a very sad day.
Amy Hagstrom Miller oversees 4 abortion clinics in Texas, now having to turn women away.
These politicians don't hear the anguish from the patients. They don't hear these patients' stories about why they need access to safe abortion today.
But anti-abortion groups like Oregon Right to Life call the court decision, quote, an incredible pro-life victory, celebrating the fact that countless innocent lives will get the chance to experience life outside the womb. Texas Right to Life is now looking outward, too.
Our legislative team has already been working with a couple other states.
Republicans in Florida and South Dakota are looking to similar restrictions. But Planned Parenthood Advocates of Oregon is fighting back, saying, quote, the Supreme Court has disregarded 50 years of precedent and set back the hands of time. Oregon must remain a haven state to ensure that patients are able to access the health care they need and deserve. The court's decision raises questions over the fate of Roe v. Wade, the 1973 landmark abortion rights decision. Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley tweeted that Congress needs to respond to make Roe v. Wade federal law. That's unlikely for now, given Republican opposition in the Senate. But companies and governments are pushing back, including the city of Portland, with Mayor Ted Wheeler announcing an emergency resolution. It would ban the exchange of city trade and services with Texas and travel to the state. The resolution is under legal review and scheduled for a vote on Wednesday, the 8th.
A strong supporter of Roe v. Wade.
Nationally, President Biden is calling on health and justice departments to take action.
I respect them, those who believe life begins at the moment of conception and all. I respect that. Don't agree, but I respect that.
And the Supreme Court could still rule later whether the Texas law is constitutional. Galen Etlin, KGW News.
Police in Gresham are asking for your help to solve a homicide that happened Friday afternoon. Officers were called to a stabbing just before 4:30 that day at the Hogan Woods apartment complex. When they got there, they found this person, Sean Hamilton, and the victim, Robert Randy Ricketts. Officials believe this was a homicide that started as an argument over a parking space. Detectives learned that there were several witnesses to the fight that have not talked to police. They ask anyone with information to contact the Gresham Police tip line. Meanwhile, the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office and the Oregon State Police Fish and Wildlife Division are looking for tips into the death and dumping of 5 puppies. The German Shepherd mixes were between 8 to 10 weeks old and appear to have been drowned off Fraser Road. Investigators believe this happened either last night or early this morning. If you have any information about this, call the Oregon State Police tip line. They also want to remind you that shelters will accept unwanted pets. The United States has crossed another COVID threshold, hitting a record high number of COVID cases since the start of the pandemic. According to the latest NBC News count, the U.S. has now recorded at least 40 million cases of COVID-19 and more than 651,000 deaths. Vaccination rates have been slowly increasing since July, but states and territories are still far from the number of shots to keep the virus at bay. Some hospitals are seeing an average of 100,000 patients a day, which is higher than at any point last winter when the vaccine was not available for many people. Experts say this current wave of infections plaguing the U.S. could have been avoided with higher vaccination rates. It is Labor Day weekend, and a lot of you have been getting out to enjoy it. But how close is too close for comfort outside without a mask? Tim Gordon looked into that in both Oregon and Washington.
It's the last big weekend of summer, and the living is easy on Northwest 23rd Avenue in Portland. With all the shops and restaurants, this place gets a lot of foot traffic. Businesses have the mask requirements posted for inside, but on the sidewalk.
Well, I think it's a little nebulous, say 6 feet away, but how can you stay 6 feet away sometimes?
Angela and Marlon Carlson are up from Corvallis. They understand Oregon has an outdoor mask mandate for crowded public places, but does sidewalk traffic fit the bill? Marlon thinks not.
I will put a mask on if I'm in a group of people that's stationary, same people. We will put a mask on, but if people are moving and it's outside, then I don't see a big need.
You could say Oregon's outdoor mask mandate is open to some interpretation. We haven't heard of any enforcement or fines anyway. So some don't wear masks outside, some have them handy, and others, like Jazzy Wynn, wear them all the time.
As a person and as a responsible citizen and just as a person who really cares, I've always worn a mask. So even if they change the mandate or say we do or don't have to wear a mask, I'm likely going to do it because we don't know with this disease, it's really unpredictable.
We also visited Vancouver, where the waterfront is as busy as we've seen it in a while. Now, unlike Oregon, Washington State does not have an outdoor mask mandate, but health officials do highly recommend people wear masks in crowded outdoor settings. Here, there were fewer people wearing masks, but also a little more room to spread out. This group of young people had theirs on to be safe.
I think I'm still concerned, but as long as I'm wearing a mask and I'm vaccinated, I feel somewhat confident to be outside.
So is this birthday lunch?
It is, yeah, hopefully outside.
We also talked to these two women, mother and daughter, here for lunch. They're comfortable without masks in this outdoor setting, but say yes to them for bigger crowds for sure.
Concerts or anything like that, totally would wear a mask, yeah.
We're sensible about it.
Yeah, just to be safe.
Yeah.
And they say another key to safety is something other than masks.
I agree with my mom. I just think more people need to be vaccinated, and it's so important.
I think that's the cure.
I think that's the key and the cure.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.
New here at 5, OHSU is postponing its sponsorship for this year's Portland Marathon. The hospital says its mission is to improve the health and well-being of Oregonians, but they are overwhelmed with COVID patients. The decision is to allow members to not have an extra burden with rising cases. This week will mark 20 years since the 9/11 terror attacks changed our country forever. And the City of Vancouver and the Community Military Appreciation Committee are inviting you to commemorate the anniversary with a special ceremony. The event will be held this coming Saturday, September 11th, at the Vancouver Waterfront Park. It'll feature a fire and police honor guard, musical performances, a ceremonial bell ringing, VFW rifle salute, and more. The city says more information is going to come out later this week, and you can find out more at the City of Vancouver's website. There's some big news, Soccer City. Today, the National Women's Soccer League announced that Providence Park will host this year's NWSL Championship match. The game is set for November 20th at 9 in the morning. Tickets will be available starting a week from Thursday at 10 in the morning. But get this, Thorns annual members will have access to an exclusive pre-sale starting a week from Tuesday. Now, tickets will be held for fans from two teams in the championship, so don't wait too long.